Okay, leaving Tarpon Springs, Clearwater area. It is May 13th. Excellent sailing conditions. Winds are going to be light and variable today. We're going to try to point north as much as possible. We're currently going 3.5 knots over ground, full sail, close reach. The conditions that I'm gonna expect today is going to be increased wind strengths coming out of the northwest and then north. So the plan is to not really hug the coastline of Florida, but to get as much northing done as possible. All right, sunset. First day. The wind has obviously picked up. The sea state has picked up. We are we're holding about 110 degrees, so a little north by northeast. I was hoping just to go due north, and then tomorrow morning or sometime tonight make the tack west. But the sea state is affecting how close to the wind we can sail. So looks like we're going to tack. Probably looks like we're going to have an 8-mile tack and then head north again at some point tonight. Okay, you might think we're not making good progress, but for sailing into windward, we're actually doing pretty well. It's the first 24-hour period. We are just 60 miles off the west coast of Florida and about 60 miles north of where we left. So not good progress for what the boat's capable of doing downwind or something like that, but as far as sailing to windward the entire time, I'm pretty happy with it. The plan has changed somewhat, but that's just the way things go. Instead of doing all my northing at once, which I wasn't able to do, I'm westing right now, just due west. I'm even going below 270 on occasion. That's supposed to change, and we'll be able to get on a starboard tack and finish the northing that we started yesterday. But anyway, beating the weather, making it happen, and life is good. Okay, it's the second sunset of this trip. We're currently doing 5 knots over ground. We are close reaching, so we're still beating the weather. The seas have just gotten, much larger. I mean, they're still not large, but it would suck to be close hauled and trying to fight these ones. I don't think it'd be possible. So everything worked out. We're basically at Apalachicola and ready to tack. And all we're waiting for is the wind to come around, and it's already started doing that. We were close reaching, not close hauled, so you know, we were off the wind a little bit, and our compass heading was like 330. We're now, so the wind was coming out of the west, so we're now straight up north. So I'll start pinching as much as I can in these swells, and then when the wind gets around enough, I'll tack. So basically we got one more tack for the rest of this trip, and the winds are supposed to be gusting 22, so it's going to be a spicy night, and they're going to clock all the way around to the northeast. And so basically it will be a beam reach, and by 4 a.m. The winds are going to be stronger and coming out of the northeast, and so we'll be a broad reach the rest of the way in, which will be nice. So everything has worked out perfectly as far as my sail plan, even though I didn't stick to my sail plan. But it turns out the plan that I did use working out perfectly. So anyway, got a couple hours for this wind direction change, and I'm thinking I'll be tacking about 10 o'clock, and that'll be the last tack for the trip. And should be not necessarily smooth sailing, but better than, it won't be as difficult as pointing to weather. So anyway, it's all good. It is the third morning of the trip. Just coming around, let me see, for what is this here, St. Joe's Bay. It's Pig Island. I don't know, there's a point there, and there's some buoys that I'm having trouble sailing around, because we can't hold the point of sail to get around this point. So I fired up the engine, disengaged the hydro vane, put on the electric autopilot. I would be able to sail around it if I had my spinnaker pole, but it gave up the ghost last year. I need to get another one. Anyway, last night was great. The wind never got up to what it was called out for on windy. It clocked around at the perfect opportunity. We tacked, got some good rest. Everything's going smooth. The only question now is whether I press on to Pensacola. What wind angle can I hold, or do I just motor sail? The only issue with this particular area is you got if you come in behind the oil derricks, you're good. But right now I would be in between land and the derricks on both sides of me. So motoring through the night and getting any sleep is probably not a good idea. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. That is the sunset on our third and final night. We are going to keep pressing on, and I believe I'm going to sail just 10 miles off the coast and keep going to Pensacola. On the last video clip, I said I wasn't sure if I was going to because of the oil drilling platforms, and so I went online to see where they were, and that was my mistake. They don't start till Orange Beach, which is basically Alabama. I don't think they're allowed off the coast of Florida. So this is actually the perfect coastline to parallel. overnight because of the sparsity of cities. It's not like the east coast of Florida or the west coast of Florida where it's just jam-packed with activity. But anyway, we'll be reaching the rest of the way in. Winds are going to be light and variable. Seas are going to be flat. We're currently doing 4.3 knots. I don't know if that will continue. I hope it does. This last leg, I think, is my reward for what I had to deal with on this trip. Even though I intentionally sailed to weather. You know, I could have waited for a window similar to this or something. But there's something to be said about challenging yourself. And it was a good trip. Okay, last morning of the trip. Had to motor sail this morning. We're 40 miles from our destination and we're doing 5 knots, perfect conditions. Uneventful night last night, paralleling the shore, sleeping off and on. There was a few fishermen. I went in between them. They seemed to all be lined up at about 100 feet. And I was in about 75 feet of water. I don't know if that's what they were doing. And after midnight or 1 a.m., I didn't see any more of them until this morning. But we should be there today. This is the end of this video, and I think normally I wait until I get anchored. But I'm thinking about, and in this one just offshore, I mean basically we're 15 miles from Pensacola, where I'm going to anchor and knock off any barnacles that might have got on the hull and change the zincs before I head back to Mobile and back to work. Just a few items to mention. Starlink. Shit. I cannot recommend it enough. Obviously, having weather radar is indispensable. And just for example, yesterday when I was coming around that point near Mexico Beach, if I didn't have Starlink, more than likely I would have anchored there and made a new sail plan, got current weather, you know, so on and so forth. Made phone calls, whatever the case might be. But having Starlink, all that's at your fingertips. So making the decision to continue on, which I may or may not have made, but was simple because I had the Starlink. So it saves money, it saves time. I mean, it's just a great thing. And something I learned on this trip, which other people might know, I have the Starlink Mini, and I started out with the roam package, which means you can use it anywhere on land. But it has to be pointed north. It has to be lined up almost exactly to be efficient with this. So I thought maybe I bought the wrong antenna for sailing. Well, if you are sailing, you're obviously going to get the global roam package. It's $250 a month. for 50 gig, and then they usually give you an option to up for another 50 gig for another 100, which is well worth it. So you end up with 100 gig. Anyway, I kept mounting this antenna at different locations on the boat because I thought it had to be pointing north. Well, when you buy the Roam offshore package, it doesn't matter where you put the antenna as long as it can see the sky. And under all conditions, big seas, small seas, the data speed rate was never an issue. Just everything was as good or better than my regular cell service. So if you have the Mini and you're still trying to point it to north, you don't have to do that, as long as you're on the global unlimited plan. And lastly, for people that are on the Facebook Pearson Vanguard group, I went to Steve Lang's marina, and he allowed me to take a tour of his boat, Beowulf. That boat is, in my opinion, should be the mecca for anybody with a Pearson Vanguard. It's breathtaking, the amount of time, effort, thought, craftsmanship. It's off the chain. I mean, I don't know if he lets people look at it, but if you own a Vanguard and you're within 100 miles of that place, you should send him a message and see if he'll allow you to take a tour of that boat. It shows you what's possible on a Vanguard. It's unbelievable. But I may end this video here and upload this to the internet before I even drop anchor, which I don't really see why not. The only footage I'd be getting is coming in the inlet. So I may do that.